Ladies and gentlemen, wake up, because the landscape of the AFC South is trembling right now. We are looking at a potential seismic shift in Houston that could redefine our franchise for the next decade. Sources are buzzing, phones are ringing off the hook, and the names attached to the Houston Texans today are nothing short of explosive. Because what I am about to tell you changes everything.
Let's address the elephant in the room immediately. The Miami Dolphins have made the shocking decision to release Tyreek Hill, sending shockwaves throughout the National Football League. This is a player who transforms offenses simply by stepping onto the field. Naturally, the immediate question surfacing within league circles is whether the Houston Texans will make a play for the cheetah. Sources indicate that internal discussions are happening regarding the feasibility of adding a weapon of this magnitude to an offense already headlined by C.J. Stroud. From a schematic standpoint, imagine the speed, imagine the spacing. You pair Hill with Nico Collins and Tank Dell, and you are looking at the most dangerous receiving corps in football, bar none. However, let me be very clear about the reality of this situation. While the allure of a Stroud to Hill connection is intoxicating for fans, the financial implications are massive. We are talking about a significant cap hit and a personality that demands the ball. Adam Schefter would tell you to look at the salary cap space and the long-term contracts coming up for our young core. But let me channel my inner Stephen A. Smith right now. You play to win the game. When a generational talent becomes available, you don't sit on your hands and worry about the calculator. You worry about the Lombardi Trophy. C.J. Stroud is on a rookie deal. This is the cheat code window. This is the moment where you push the chips into the center of the table. Critics will argue that our wide receiver room is already deep. They will say we don't need to spend that kind of money on a luxury item. That is absolute nonsense. In the NFL, speed kills, and Tyreek Hill is the grim reaper for opposing secondaries. If Nick Caserio passes on even inquiring about this, it is a dereliction of duty. We saw what happened in Kansas City. We saw the impact in Miami. Now imagine that vertical threat opening up the intermediate routes for everyone else in Bobby Slowick's system. It is a nightmare for defensive coordinators. But there is a catch, and it is a big one. Bringing in a superstar midstream or during a retooling phase requires locker room buy-in. Can DeMeco Ryans manage the egos? Absolutely he can. He is a leader of men. The concern isn't culture. The concern is allocation of resources. Do you spend big on a wide receiver when you have defensive needs? That is the debate raging in the front office right now. The Dolphins cutting him signals they are moving in a different direction, perhaps clearing books. But for Houston, this is a distinct opportunity to capitalize on another team's perch. The Texans have been aggressive, but are they Tyreek Hill aggressive? That remains the question. We need to understand that this isn't just about catching passes. It is about signaling to the rest of the league that the Houston Texans are the apex predators of the AFC.
Listen, if you want the truth about these roster moves before anyone else, you need to be locked in right here. Don't miss a single update on our Super Bowl push. Hit that subscribe button and join the movement now. While the world loses its collective mind over Tyreek Hill, smart football minds are looking at the fine print. Reports suggest the Texans are heavily monitoring another player recently cut by the Miami Dolphins, and quite frankly, this might be the more realistic and pivotal move. We get caught up in the stars, but championships are won in the trenches and with depth. Sources close to the situation believe Houston is eyeing a specific defensive asset or a versatile roster piece released in Miami's salary cap purge. This isn't the headline-grabbing move, but it is the move that wins you games in January. Let's break down why this matters. DeMeco Ryans prides himself on a swarming, suffocating defense. The Dolphins had pieces that were simply casualties of poor financial management, not poor performance. If Nick Caserio can swoop in and pick up a starting caliber defender or a rotational specialist for pennies on the dollar, that is a masterclass in general management. We are talking about value. We are talking about plugging holes without breaking the bank. While everyone is looking at the shiny object, the Texans are looking at the engine room. However, I have to ask, is this enough? Are we satisfied with smart moves while other teams are making bold moves? It frustrates me to no end when teams play it safe. Yes, bolstering the defense is crucial. Yes, adding depth is necessary. But does a depth piece scare Patrick Mahomes? Does a rotational linebacker keep Josh Allen up at night? No. So while I respect the due diligence, I demand impact. If this player, whoever it turns out to be, can come in and immediately contribute to the pass rush or lock down the slot, then fine. But if this is just another body on the roster, then we are wasting time. The connection here is obvious. Miami is shedding salary. Houston has flexibility. The synergy is there. But the philosophy is what is on trial. Are the Texans building a team to compete or a team to dominate? There is a difference. Monitoring the waiver wire for scraps is what 7-win teams do. Signing impact players is what Super Bowl contenders do. I want to believe that this interest in the other Dolphins player is a strategic supplement to a bigger move, not the main course. We have seen Caserio find gems before. We trust the scouting department, but let's not pretend that a depth signing excites the fan base like a superstar acquisition. The tension here lies in the ambition. We need playmakers on both sides of the ball. If this targeted player brings grit and toughness to our defense, I am all for it. But do not try to sell me a role player as a game changer. We know the difference. The Texans must balance fiscal responsibility with the undeniable need for elite talent. This monitoring situation is a test of their scouting eye versus their willingness to spend big money.
If you thought the previous stories were controversial, this next development is absolutely incendiary. There are rumblings, loud rumblings, about a potential trade scenario that would bring a $33.2 million running back to Houston to effectively replace Joe Mixon. Let that sink in for a second. We are talking about a complete restructuring of the backfield involving massive capital. The financial commitment here suggests an aggressive pivot that no one saw coming. Joe Mixon has been a soldier, a producer, and a key element of this offense. To discuss moving on from him for a high-priced alternative is the definition of a high-risk, high-reward gamble. From an insider perspective, the math is staggering. Absorbing or negotiating a contract valued around $33 million for a running back in today's NFL is almost unheard of. The league has devalued the position, yet here are the Texans potentially looking to zig while everyone else sags. Who is this mystery back? The speculation is rampant, but the intent is clear. The front office believes the running game needs more explosiveness. They are looking for a home run hitter in the backfield to take the pressure off C.J. Stroud. But let me scream this from the mountaintops. Are you out of your minds? Joe Mixon provides stability. You do not fix what is not broken by throwing $33 million at it. This smells like desperation or hubris, and I cannot tell which one it is yet. Unless this incoming running back is prime Barry Sanders or Adrian Peterson, I do not see how you justify the cost. We have holes on the offensive line. We have needs in the secondary. Dumping a truckload of cash into the running back position is a move that could cripple the salary cap flexibility we just talked about preserving. Think about the domino effect. If you execute this trade, you are likely out on Tyreek Hill. You are likely limiting your defensive signings. You are putting all your eggs in the basket of a ground and pound philosophy in a passing league. It is bold, I will give him that. It is fearless, but is it smart? This indicates that Bobby Slowick wants a specific type of runner, someone who can perhaps offer more in the passing game or break the long one consistently. The locker room impact cannot be ignored. Mixon is a veteran presence. Replacing him is not just a statistical swap, it is a cultural shift. The Texans are flirting with danger here. If this $33 million man comes in and fumbles or gets injured, the front office will be crucified. This rumor alone elevates the pressure on the entire organization. It tells us they are not satisfied with good enough. They want elite production at every position, regardless of the cost. This is a ruthless business, and the Texans are showing their teeth. But beware, because aggressive moves like this are exactly how general managers get fired if they do not work out.
This is a defining moment for the Houston Texans. We are standing at the precipice of greatness or disaster. You have the potential pursuit of Tyreek Hill, the calculated monitoring of defensive depth, and a shocking big money rumor about replacing Joe Mixon in the backfield. These aren't just rumors, these are signals of intent. The front office is aggressive, but are they right? I need to hear from you immediately. Would you trade for the $33 million running back, or do you go all in on Tyreek Hill? You cannot have it all. Drop your comments below because this debate is just getting started. We are building a monster in Houston, but the direction is up to these critical decisions. Stay locked in because the news is moving fast. Go Texans!